Welcome back to our city. For the second half of the show, I am pleased to be joined by the Assemblywoman from the 20th District, Annette Quijano, and Jonathan Phillips from Groundwork, Elizabeth. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris.
Now, Assemblywoman, I understand that the gardening program was your initiative. We've spoken about this in the past and going from event to event. How did you get into this? And, how did you get the organization going among the stakeholders?
I got into it by a pastor, or I should say a minister, Linda Mercer, who was my next door neighbor. And one day she knocked on my door and she had baskets of produce. And she said, well, here, I wanted to share with you, neighbor to neighbor. And I was like, oh, thank you, but there's other people in the building that could use it more. Seniors that are in the building that I knew were strapped for money. And she's like, no, this is God's bounty and I'm bringing it to you. And I thought that was such a wonderful concept to do neighbor to neighbor. She shared her produce. First, her church was involved with a co-op. The co-op gave it to their members. Then their members gave it to different churches. And then after she distributed it in the church, she came to the apartment building and distributed it to her neighbors. And from that, I was like, let's start something where neighbors could help neighbors.
And the stakeholders? How did you get some stakeholders
The
involved?
stakeholders, I attended a Union County Alliance meeting, and I just happened to tell them about this wonderful event and this minister who knocked on my door. And that's where I met Jim Horn from United Way of Union County. And he told me that he was starting a program and maybe we could work together. So from that, just talking to a few people, the sheriff, people in your administration, we started getting more and more stakeholders.
And the Union County Community Gardening Program is what you're calling it. Now, you're officially going to launch it on November 10th.
Yes.
And
I can't wait to launch it.
Where are you doing that at?
We're doing it at Michelino's at the train station.
And that's good. And the mission for the gardening program is to feed people or to encourage people to grow things? Or both?
Well, it's more than that. It's the mission. The first, we have various missions, but first is to
we all do.
to bring food-producing gardens to entities and neighborhoods that don't have it as a source, a ready source. We've done things for intergenerational, getting both the seniors and young children involved, and multicultural. We've done different kinds of gardens in different places to make sure that we reach all the people in our communities.
And John, the Groundwork Elizabeth has been instrumental in making Elizabeth go green, and the Assemblywoman's idea kind of dovetails into what you're doing and her creation of this gardening project. So what's been going on with Groundwork lately?
Well, first of all, Mayor, thanks for having us come on again to talk about Groundwork, our mission and goals, and this great initiative, this Come Grow With Us Union County Gardening Initiative. Before we talk about that initiative, though, I'd like to just bring you up to date and some of the viewers up to date about what Groundwork is and what we've been doing lately. Our mission is 4 simple words: change places, change lives. So everything we do, including the gardening program, has to do with changing people's lives in a big way. We just got back from Washington. I just attended a Groundwork USA National Assembly program. And
saw
also,
pictures of you somewhere.
Did you?
Attending, yeah.
Yeah, we're around.
Yeah, you get in front of the White House, I think you did a picture.
Yes, and we also had a youth assembly program. And we actually went to Washington. There's actually legislation to make Groundwork USA a federally recognized program. And 2 of our congressional representatives, we actually have 2 in Elizabeth, which is amazing. Donald Payne and Albie Osiris have co-sponsored Bill number 5134, which was introduced by Nikki Tsongas of Massachusetts, to make Groundwork USA a federally recognized program. So we're really looking forward to that. Of course, before we talk about the gardening program, we had the Tour de Elizabeth. We've got some summer initiatives we've been working on with different nonprofits, taking care of what we've been doing. We've got a planter program. We've got restoration efforts. You were just at Sheridan Park rededication for veterans on September 14th with us. Thank you for that. And thank you for all the city does to really help us do our work. We're working on Elizabeth Nature Center. We're working on a landscaping program with other nonprofits to employ Elizabeth adults and youth. And most importantly right now, this is like tailor-made for us, as you said, Mayor, Come Grow With Us community gardening program.
Now, Assemblywoman, you've talked about this being your creation, your brainchild, whatever the proper word is now. Do you fall back exhausted, or do you have a role in Come Grow With Us program?
I would say
you do all the thinking and that's it, or do you?
My role is the cheerleader now to make sure that we tell everybody about the program and try to get sponsors to help us pay for the program.
And who else besides Jonathan has been involved with the program to date?
Oh, there's a whole list. I'm going to check.
Oh, good. We want to hear some of those names.
Oh, of course, the City of Elizabeth. Oh, I have to thank Senator Lesniak and Assemblyman Cryan, my colleagues. They've been very supportive. The Elizabeth High School Upper Academy, the Garden State Urban Farms, Home First Interfaith Housing and Family Services, Plainfield Family Success, Jefferson Park Family Success Center, Maritza Correra, graphic designer, the Master Gardeners of Union County, the Patel Printing Plus, Portuguese Instructive Social Club, Roselle Daycare Center, Rutgers Cooperative Extension. They have been so helpful.
Is Jim still there?
Jim?
Yes,
Yes.
He is?
Yes, he gave a class
Okay.
to some high school students. The Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders, the Union County Sheriff's Office, United Way of Greater Union County, and the YMCA of Eastern Union County. And the person I left for last is a consultant, Jackie, I only know her as Jackie Park Album, who has been very helpful. She originally worked with United Way and now is a consultant with Common Good. Common Good?
She's the consultant for the Common Good.
Common Good.
Now, Assemblyman, how did you pull all these people together? I mean, you just got the word out and they all signed on. It's pretty quick. You talked about this idea in the summer and it's come along quickly, so...
Well, we started some preliminary discussions last spring, and because Jim Horn and United Way had already started some of the preliminary work, we were able to join with him, and that actually just jump-started us.
Well, then, what are the steps for starting a community garden? Naturally, it's a winter, and not a lot of people are going to be doing this now,
Well,
but
right
we
now-
want to get them prepared for the spring, correct?
Right now, we're going over applications, so I'm going to let Jonathan speak about the process since he's the administrator.
Okay. Well, we'd like to get 2 garden coordinators from each site. And if people are interested, there's still time to actually contact us about next year. They can either call my office at 289-0262 or Annette's office also.
908-624-0880.
And we'd like to entertain what they have to say. 2 garden coordinators. Then the Rutgers Cooperative Extension, as you said, they're very vital to what we do. They come in, test the soil. But even if soil is contaminated, we have ways around that. We'll build raised beds. We don't want anybody to get hurt by this. We want to help people. After that, the gardens are designed by Rutgers Cooperative Extension and all of our stakeholders. We come in with volunteers. Historically, it's been through the United Way volunteers, and we come build raised beds, put the dirt in, plant the seeds or put the plants in, and you get results such as, hope I'm not doing anything unusual, such as this, which was picked today.
Did you pick today?
These were picked today from Jefferson Park Ministries, one of our 5 existing gardens.
And it was actually our first garden.
So this is some zucchini, and you have green tomatoes aren't going to do you much. So how do you get these to ripen up?
You put them on your windowsill.
Put them on your windowsill.
And you have jalapeno peppers and other peppers.
Some jalapeno peppers. Well, these are hot, right?
Yes. Well, I don't know if they're the sweet ones or the
And
red ones
when we
too.
do the planting, each garden has their pick of what they want to plant too.
Yeah, we
so we
wanna-
customize it.
So
we
they
wanted to
can make a
sure.
choice, in other
Yes,
words.
we want to make sure that
Okay.
the gardens were reflective of the communities that they were going to serve.
So if people didn't like certain foods, then they can grow something else.
Exactly.
Okay. And what's this all cost, Assemblywoman?
Oh, what does it cost?
Well, each garden will cost about $3,000 to get started. That includes the design, that includes the dirt, the wood, the plants, and everything else that has to do with it.
Okay. And how do we get people to buy into spending $3,000 into the garden programs?
Well, they can donate whatever they're comfortable with. You know, I first financed it with the help of Senator Lesniak and Assemblyman Cryan by writing out a check to start it. Other individuals have donated their time, which is as important as the money is, with their expertise.
We also apply for grants. We actually have gotten an award through E.J. Grassman Trust already for some money for some gardens. We continue to look for different grants. We also look for donations. And that's why this November 10th event is very, very exceptional and a good opportunity for people to really come to a party and actually see what the Come Grow With Us program is about and and donate also.
Now, how can people contact you again? They can contact you, or they can go to.
They should go to.
Well, they can come to our telephone number is 908-289-0262. They can go
And
to,
ask for you or Groundwork.
exactly, ask for
Right.
me, or they can go to the groundworkelizabeth.com website, send us a message, or we're now on Facebook like everybody else. And so
I'm not on Facebook.
You're not?
Okay.
No, maybe someday in the future. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Facebook.
I've seen you on Twitter.
Yeah, so
I know.
I'll have to get on Facebook at some point. Not there yet. I don't know if I have the time to keep posting things on Facebook.
Well, your staff can.
Staff can do it, right?
Yeah, because I what I did is I sent out an invitation to all my friends to come to Cocktails and Conversation
At the Michelinos Cafe. Is it the train station cafe on November 10th?
at the Michelinos train
Train Station Cafe.
Cafe.
Good. Well, I want to thank the two of you for taking the time to join me on the show this evening, and I think it's going to be exciting. I look forward to November 10th and the kickoff, and I also look forward to gardens springing up all throughout Elizabeth and your district as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For Assemblywoman Annette Quijano and Jonathan Phillips and Donald Travisano on the first part of the show, I'm Chris Bolwage. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.